I love the piano. I love the piano. I love to hear somebody play upon a piano, a grand piano. It really carries me away. I know a fine way to treat a Steinway. I love to run my fingers off the keys, the ivories, and with the pedal I love to meddle. When Paderewski comes my way, I'm so excited to be invited to hear that long-haired genius play. Well, you can keep your fiddle, keep your bow, give me a B-I-A-N-O. I'm a top pride beside an upright or a high tone. Baby, I love a piano. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to announce and bring on stage a Canadian theatre royalty. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a great big hand to Charlotte Moore! Everybody. Hello. Welcome. Val, you're awesome as always. I said you're awesome as always. Has everyone here had the amazing pleasure of witnessing Valerie Boyle sing? What's that song you sing while eating a banana? Goody Goody. She eats a banana while she's singing Goody Goody, and it is the dirtiest thing you will ever see in your life. But we're not here to talk about Valerie Boyle. A certain individual that we all love and adore, and your hosts, your sponsors, the reason we're here today is Well Seasoned Productions. And our prime mandate is to celebrate our senior artists. So today, we are celebrating with a little fundraising help to cover some of his vast medical expenses. Parkinson's is a harsh mistress, and we're here to lighten the load just a little, if we can. The first thing I'd like to start with is my daughter Emily was in the Sheridan, one of the many Sheridan cohorts that Chris got to work with, and so she's collected some testimonials from other students, just so Chris could hear what they have to say. So here's the first one. Chris was the only teacher I ever had that generously stayed for hours after class to help me with my material. You could tell he loved his work so much because he never made me feel like a burden keeping him over time. In fact, those times after class soon blossomed into a beautiful friendship. He even sent me an audio recording entitled For Luke, where he improvised a 3-minute song just for me. Chris, today is one big For Chris song. Every person in this room has been impacted by your presence and by your music. and is here to express their gratitude for the impact you've made on their lives. I will carry on your legacy for as long as I live. The most beautiful person, teacher, and friend to grace my life, Luciano Di Ciccio. Okay, wait a minute. Oh yes, okay, here's a good one. Mostly I just love him because he was always there when I needed him, like always willing to make something work. I think being reliable is admirable. Michael Hughes. One of my favorite Chris moments was when me and a group of students got on Zoom with him to watch Legally Blonde because he'd never seen it. We had a great time and chatted for about an hour afterwards. Growing heart, rose emoji, Madison Arnonson. Wait a minute, I think that's it. Oh, that's it for this batch. I have more batches. They're really good. I love them all. Okay, so our first, we have a bunch of people here. We have a bunch of people sent regrets. We have a bunch of people who we're going to have some video for you later of people who couldn't make it but wanted to say hi. But we have some actual live people here today who want to, I don't know if they're telling a story, if they're being sassy, or if they're being kind. We'll find out. First up is Mr. Scott Hurst. This isn't big at all.
Thank you, Charlotte. Anyways, wow. I was talking with Jeff Prentice a little earlier. This is overwhelming for me to be back in this building after a very, very long time. So I said to Chris, it must be extremely overwhelming for him to be in this wonderful company today. But I said, don't be overwhelmed, try to be overjoyed. Because I think all of us are overjoyed to be here and to have spent 40, 50 years with your talents and your presence. My partner Rob says that I'm better doing things off the cuff than I am preparing. So I didn't prepare. Obviously you've seen my auditions, thank you. Yeah. Chris and I were part of the original Muskoka Festival Touring Company back in '82 and '83. And my dog Snoopy is in the third row there, Tommy Castle. And I think that if anybody's going to sing anything today, it should be I'm Still Here, or You're Still Here, because we have gone through so many wonderful, wonderful things together. A few not so wonderful things together, I'm sure, but every time that I think of you, Chris, I smile. I smile because you were always so generous and so giving of your talents to these 23-year-old people who thought they knew everything. To this day, I can still sing the harmony line to Lullaby of Broadway because of the way you drilled it into us on the third floor of what is now the Randolph School. We went on to do 2 seasons together. One of those seasons we stayed at Robert Jeffrey and Paul Russell's place, Muskoka Pines. And the second year, Chris asked me to go to Shell's cottages with him and live for the summer. And for some reason, I don't know whether it was something about arrangements with our van or whatever, that it made it, not imperative, but it made it that they wanted me to stay at the Muskoka Pines again. And I kicked myself for that. That would have been quite the summer. You and I in a cabin, bitching. Because of you, I know things like 4 Jews in a room bitching. I know that you can improvise Rodgers and Hammerstein, and you can turn to your partner and go, I think she's sleeping, when you can't remember your lines. But in closing, I would just like to say one of my favorite moments that Chris will never let me forget, although he may have forgot. The first year we did Your Good Man Charlie Brown and a Best of Broadway review. And of course, the most likely song for me to sing was Old Man River. And I'm a tenor, or was that day. And one day mid-summer, I don't know what happened. I had a bit of a mind fart, and Chris says to this day that the lyric that came out of my mouth was, "Mother snorts coke on the Mississippi." So, thank you, Mr. Christopher. Love to you. I also wish that we could go back and get the 3 years we lived together on Dufferin Street and spend a little less time in our bedrooms and a little more time in our living room, in our dining room, in our kitchen. I miss you, and I love you.
Thanks, Scott. Hi, all. My name is Vanetta Strombergs. And I'm still here. I had known about Chris for a long time. I think the first time I met him was at the Sudbury Theatre Center, Annie Get Your Gun. I knew some people in the show and I was visiting. And there were so many stories about how wonderful he was. But I did not get to work with him as a performer, but I had the great pleasure of working with him at Sheridan with those millennials. 23 or 24 of them, I don't know, they were so many. And I had been hired to direct Rodgers and Hart, A Celebration. Well, if you've worked with millennials, or even older but still younger than us, they tend not to know the history of music and musical theater or movie musicals. And to take 23 and try to teach them the style of Rodgers and Hart was a challenge. Also trying to figure out how you could make everyone have a solo feature while still keeping the show going. Anyway, I had a huge scheduling challenge, and I was lucky enough to have Chris as my musical director and guardian. So Chris, thank you. I know everyone at Sheridan who's had the chance to work with Chris really appreciates your generosity. You're wonderful. Thank you.
Mike Stanford.
Funny story. Many years ago, I was receiving chemotherapy for cancer treatment. And at that time, I was asked to audition for Man of La Mancha at the Stratford Festival at the National Ballet down on, I think it's on Queen's Quay and Jarvis, or around there anyway. So I tell the story that I went into the audition, and it was at the end of my chemo, coming towards the end, so I was pretty mushy. And I got into the audition, and as I tell the story, Chris was playing, and I started to sing the song for Susan Schulman, and I kept forgetting my lyrics, and I would run over to the piano and look over and run back and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Left the room. Philip Hughes told everyone what I was going through, and I got the job. So I was telling this to my good friend John Carr, who actually taught me the song, and he said, "Mary, that was me." He was yelling lyrics from the piano, so I was completely mush-brained. Not only was it not Chris, It was John Carr, complete, and my mother had told me, oh, well, I was on chemo. Remember when you said that? No, I don't. I never said that. Yes, I did, and so there you go. But this song, Trouble in Tahiti, what a movie, is a bitch. And I sang it a lot. And Chris was one of the people that played it for me, and John Carr taught it to me. But so anyway, David and David is fabuloso. We've been run through it a few times, as you do. So see you at the end. Pray for me. And us.
Wait, one second. I'm short.
What a movie! What a terrible, awful movie! It's a crime what they put on the screen. I can hardly believe what I've seen. Do they think we're a lot of children? It would bore any 4-year-old. What drivel? What nonsense? What escapist technicolor twaddle? Trouble in Tahiti, indeed. Trouble in Tahiti, imagine. There she is in her inch or two of sarong, floating, all among the floating flowers. Then she sees him, the handsome American. I must say he's really a man, 6 feet tall and 8 foot, just incredible. Well, the madly love, but there's trouble ahead. There's a legend. If the princess marry white man and rainfall that day, then the white man will be sacrificed without delay. Ooh, sure enough, on the night of their wedding day, there's a storm like nothing on earth. Tidal waves and sirocco's and hurricanes, and to top it all off, the volcano erupts as the natives sing. Oh, they go crazy with the drumming and the chanting and ritual dance, while the lovers sing a ballad of so sea romance. It's so lovely, I wish I could think of it. Da-dee-da-da-da-dee-da. It was called Island Magic, I think it was. Oh, beautiful song, I remember it now. Island Magic, where the midnight breezes caress us and the stars above seem to bless us. That's Island Magic. Island Magic. Well, in any case, the hero is tied to a tree. Did I tell you he's a flyer who got lost at sea? Anyway, all the natives are crazy now, running wild with lances and knives. Then they pile up the wood for the sacrifice, and the witch doctor comes and he sets it on fire as the natives sing. But at this point comes the good old U.S. Navy singing a song. They come swarming down in parachutes 1,000 strong. Everything now is cleared up and wonderful. Everyone is happy as pie, and they all do a great rumba version of Island Magic, of course. It's a beautiful song, Island Magic, where the palm trees whisper together, and it's always midsummer weather. That's Island Magic. Island Magic, with the one I love very near. Island Magic, whispering near.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Nick. Hi, Nick. Hi. Chris, we first met in the early 1980s when my wife at that time was a singer and you accompanied her, but I didn't really get to know you until 2001 when we went to Montreal to the Centaur Theatre to do Oliver. I was Fagin, naturally, and you, of course, were the musical director, and we started to work, and you taught me my songs, Pick a Pocket or Two, Be Back Soon, and of course my big number, Reviewing the Situation. And we started to work on the show, and we staged the scenes and the songs, and one morning, early in the second week of rehearsal, somebody said, okay, we're going to go to lunch, and then after lunch, we're doing a stumble through of the show. And I said, you can't do that. We haven't staged Reviewing the Situation yet. And they said, well, you know the song, don't you? I said, well, yeah. They said, well, just stand still and sing it. We'll stage it tomorrow. Well, I was not too happy with that. No. So I ate a very quick lunch, and then I went into the rehearsal hall, which was deserted, and I staged the number myself. Now, the first part is very straightforward. There's a lot of running around, holding the jewelry box, making sure I'm alone and unobserved. Then you state the premise of the song. I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. Then things get agitated. I ran down stage right to say, can a fella be a villain all his life? Then I ran stage left to say, better settle down and get myself a wife. But then the song gets difficult. We enter the fast part, the part that's in stop time. And I worked out a bunch of business with the jewelry box, taking the jewels out one at a time, and then putting them back in one at a time. A wife would cook and sew for me and come for me and go for me and go for me and nag at me and so on. And this finally all culminated in, I think I better think it out again, slam, closing the lid of the box. I thought, this is great. Mr. Rice is ready. Bring on the stumble through. So we started to do the stumble through and everything was great. But then we got to the song. It started out fine. But when we got to the fast part, I totally forgot everything that I had planned to do. And I was very tempted just to throw up my hands in desperation and say, sorry, you were right. I'll just stand here and deliver the song. But I didn't want to do that. I was determined to press on. So I started to improvise, and I went into a kind of low-level, droning, dithering, daven. Something like, wait a minute, what do I do here? What do I do here? Wait a minute. Do I put the box on the table, or do I hold the box under my arm? Do I take the jewels out on every other beat, or on every beat? What do I do here? I don't know. Now, Chris, you were sitting downstage right at the piano, and I wouldn't have blamed you one bit if you had turned away from the keyboard and folded your arms and rolled your eyes while this self-indulgent actor went through his paces. But you didn't do that. You stayed with me the whole way. You never let me down. Your support was unconditional. And you kept up a kind of rolling, sustained chord that was tremolo, and it was totally right for the situation, and it was totally supportive. And that was you, man. That was you because you were patient and present and kind and tasteful in a way that I myself might not have been. And you were just so insightful and so loyal, and always you served the song. What you did was totally right under those circumstances. Finally, we got to the end. I think I better think it out again. Slam! And the entire company had been sitting around the edge of the room transfixed by what you and I were doing. And when we got to the end, they gave you and me a round of applause. And that has to have been one of the sweetest moments of my entire career. And I owe you so much for having been a part of it. You serve the song, man. You're like Ringo Starr. And in the words of another great pianist, alongside his good friend Bernie, how wonderful life is, 'cause you're in this world. I love you so much. Thank you, Chris.
Everybody. What a beautiful, beautiful story, Nick. And that, serving the song, interesting enough, is a direct segue into my next testimonial from a Sheridan student. This is from Haley Ballas. I hope I'm saying her name right. My favorite one is in first year, Chris and I worked together on Fine, Fine Line from Avenue Q. Chris is the biggest stickler for doing what's on the page. And in that song, there are these like pickups before every fine that nobody ever sings. He made sure I sang them, and when I got my evaluation back, I had marks taken off for scooping. I remember showing Chris and him giving me an "oh hell no girl" energy. And he went and showed the prof the physical sheet music and got my mark changed. We also used to make wishes together in G-Wing whenever we saw each other at 11:11. And the next one is from the fellow that's starring in the show I'm rehearsing right now, Amir Haidar. And he said, Chris Mounteer was one of so few people who made me feel safe and understood here in Canada. His talent is matched by his generosity and big heart. You're amazing, Chris. So we have some more thoughts from some more friends via video link. Thanks, Trish.
Hey, dear Christopher. I'm sending all of my love from the beautiful East Coast. It's like rain snowing today, so I don't know if it's as beautiful as it can be, but it's still pretty great. I still remember the first time I encountered you in the G-Wing at Sheridan, and a student finished singing a song and you were playing for them, and the teacher, I don't even remember the teacher or the student, I just remember you, and the teacher said, you know, I really feel that this would sound better, maybe like a tone or a tone and a half lower. And the student said, yes, I couldn't find the sheet music, blah, blah, blah. They had this discussion. And then the teacher turned to you and said, what do you think, Chris? A tone and a half lower? And you looked up into the ceiling. Like, I guess, I don't know, maybe that's where all your divine inspiration came from. And then you looked down at the keyboard and then you proceeded to play it perfectly, a tone and a half lower. Your genius has forever inspired me. I'm forever proud of you. I love you. I cherish our hilarious and crazy memories in the G-Wing together, working as accompanists and coaches so dearly. I love you. You are the best. Mwah.
Hi, Monty. Karen Skidmore here. Wishing you all the best, imagining you all peaceful and happy and having a great, great, wonderful time. And I'm thinking of everything that you've done and all of our friends there today. And I'm thinking that if music be the food of love, you are fully nourished and all is well. And I'm wishing you all the best. And hi, everybody.
Maestro! This is your old friend, Karen McDonald. It's killing me that I'm not there. I had every intention of being there, but alas, for reasons too boring to go into now, it wasn't in the stars. But I think of you so often, and I'm not Catholic, but I've heard my novenas are pretty good, so I send some your way. Just think the world of you, my love, and when I think of you, I think of these two wonderful memories make me so happy. The first one is when you were touring in Forever Plaid, and you guys would come after the show into the bar I was running at the time. Why anyone thought it was a good idea for me to run a bar back then is anybody's guess, but you guys would come in faithfully, and I remember we would queue up, Blame It on My Youth, just for you. I was almost gonna, if I was coming, I was gonna sing it for you, but the way my voice is now and the word youth doesn't really go together. And the other thing I will always be grateful to you for is all the help you have given me over the years with your generous coaching. And you've helped me more than you'll ever know, because I do struggle learning new music. I don't sight read very well. And you've always been so patient and so kind. And I'm sure you didn't charge me what you were worth. Anyway, I hope you have a ball today, and I'm there in spirit, so save me a seat and a piece of cake. I love you so much. Bye.
Chris, what to say about you? I think I'd like to focus on the amazing musical moments you have given me over the years, starting way back at Western University. Remember us singing that duet where I did the tenor and you did the soprano? La cidade la mano, la mi dirai di si. And you letting me sit in the organ room so I could hear you practice on that amazing instrument. But nothing will take the place of me bursting into tears hearing what you had just written to go with those lyrics in that rhythm blues and all that jazz. Don't look at me, I'm a dreamer. And I'm glad that all these years later we had a chance to do a whole thing together at Coal Mine, my Christmas show. Just you and me, full of beautiful musical moments. And it's not just the music, it's you and the person that you are. I remind you that I'm a friend and I'm here to help in any way. And to toast you the way I have to admit I always think of you first off. Just like in Talbot Cafeteria all those years ago. Butter tart, chocolate milk. Here's to you, Chris. Love you.
And now, Mr. David Warwick is going to honor us with something.
Chris, I'm sure you do not remember this, but many years ago, everything's many years ago. You were playing audition piano for us for some show or rehearsal or auditions or whatever. And a fellow came in and he didn't have any music. And you asked him what he wanted to sing, and he wanted to sing Autumn Leaves. And he said, oh, that's fine, I'm good with that. And the next 3 minutes were the most spectacular thing that I have ever heard happen. I don't know if you just probably threw it off and never thought about it again. I have thought, every time I play that number, I think, what would Chris do with this? Because it was all, kind of like, that kind of thing, right from the top. You followed this guy through the entire number, and the number went on longer than most relationships. You never chased your experience. expression, you just played through that. And I just have to tell you, that's a skill. I'm going to play it that I think is the right way, and you can win.
Along with Rhoda Green, who's here today, and Jane Gardner, and our inimitable president, Leslie Valentine, who I will introduce to you a little bit later. And I just would like to tell you a little bit about WSP, as we call it. It's a Toronto-based theatre company led, inspired, performed, accompanied, and created by professional Canadian artists aged 55 plus. Founded in 2015 with a launch party to test the waters, we presented musical reviews as an ad hoc collective. We were incorporated as a not-for-profit company in 2020 and received our charitable number in 2021. Please visit our website to take a look at all we've accomplished since 2015 with the support of a dedicated team of artists and volunteers. A lot of them are here today. Mark Candler's here today. Who am I missing? Sorry? Trish! Oh my God, Trish, who did our video segment for us. And this, my friends, is the website, wellseasonedproductions.ca. So do have a visit, and they've got all kinds of cool videos up there, and it's just very inspiring, all the stuff that Leslie and company are doing. Okay, here's a couple more of our student testimonials. The first one, I think, did I read those other ones? Yes, I did. The first one is from my kid, Emily Mazurkovich. Chris had a not so subtle but very gentle way of telling you if you were effing up. She wrote effing, I would say something else. Which made you trust him in an instant. He was always one of those people who made you feel seen and understood without even having to do much. And then this one's from her classmate, Ben Skipper. I have so many memories of sitting in the basement of G Wing at Sheridan with Chris, waiting for classes to start. We would talk about music, what was happening in the world, how we were feeling that day, his flourishing Instagram page, among many other things. His kindness during those chats was always a breath of fresh air during stressful school days. Not to mention the relief I could feel walking into a classroom and knowing Chris was behind the keys. I knew that not only would he always be with me, but I was guaranteed to learn something and hear that sigh from behind the piano when I missed a comma. You're a special person unlike any other, Chris. Lots of love to you. So David, can I have you back, please?
You got me back.
Because we asked who Chris's favorite composers were and singers and stuff like that. So we're going to do, because you're a big Gershwin fan, right? And Ella Fitzgerald recorded this about 100 times. So we're going to do this tune for you. Not as well as Ella, but we'll do our best.
They can't take.
Yes!
Just
That's
walk
exactly what we're doing. The way you wear your hat. Okay, that went well. The way you sip your tea. The memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me. The way you haunt my dream. What's it again? The way you sing off key. The way you haunt my dreams. No, no, they can't take that away from me. We may never, never meet again on the bumpy road to love. Still I'll always, always keep the memory just imagine Ella Fitzgerald going, what key is it in? What key is it in? No. All right. Check out the case on my iPad, everybody. I think it was made for people with arthritic hands because it has a handle. Yeah. Yeah, well, I was impressed, may I just say. So this is the point where I say, is there anybody in the crowd who's dying to tell a story? No? Okay, everybody who's dying to tell a story has told their stories. Okay, so I have a couple more.
I could do one.
Yes!
I didn't know there was testimony.
Yay! Yay! Thomas, everybody!
Okay, so I went to Sheridan as well, so I'm feeling inspired by the testimonials that you're reading out. And so, like every student that goes to Sheridan, you become obsessed with being perfect. Oh my God, the teachers can't know about all of my flaws, or I'll never get an Asian, I'll never work with Charlotte Moore, you know. And so Chris Mounteer, I feel like, was my secret. We'd get in the tutorial room, and I'd be like, I don't know this song, you have to play the melody a million times. I'm really bad at learning music, where I could admit all of the things, the safe space, as everyone is kind of acknowledging, the safe space where I feel like I could admit my shortcomings and feel supported. And I have this memory of, you get assigned to an accompanist for whatever they call them, the vocal juries, is in my day, that's what it was called. And you have to learn a bunch of songs and then present them. And you get assigned an accompanist to work with on that. And so luckily I was often assigned Chris. And he just has this way of melting away all your stress about learning the music and about being perfect and all of those feelings. And I don't remember any of the comments from that year, like any of the positive or negative comments, but the only comment I remember from that was Marie Barron said, "It really felt like the two of you were a team." And that's the comment that I remember, and that's what means the most to me from all of that. So anyway, thanks for being on my team.
Today is full of serendipity because I'm about to read some regrets from people who really wanted to be here. And the first one is Marie Barron. Aww. Yeah, it's really, that's like the second time it's happened today, so that's kind of cool. Marie Barron says, "Wishing you a joyous celebration, dear Chris. As I've often said, bringing you on board at Sheridan was one of the wisest decisions I ever made. Remembering your amazing musical skills, your dedication to the students, and especially your heart, in all caps, still fills me with joy and gratitude. You were and still are deeply beloved. Sending love, always, Marie." And this one just said, "From a uni buddy. My anchor on stage, Margaret Port Stanley." So now I would like to introduce to you our fearless leader, the one and only Leslie Ballantyne.
Oh my gosh, this is overwhelming, and I have written notes because I knew I'd be overwhelmed. First, housekeeping, there is a poster at the back by the tech booth. If you haven't signed it yet, would you please sign it for Chris? It'll be a lovely memento. If you haven't joined our Well Seasoned Productions email list, there's a book back there. Please put your email and your name. We promise we won't spam you, sell you, sell your information, otherwise or trade, but we will let you know about upcoming events. I'm delighted to take this very first opportunity to publicly announce that we received federal funding this year to do another musical review. Yay. And yes. The federal government actually gets about seniors. The arts councils, we haven't been successful yet getting any funding from our arts councils, but we have funding to do a large musical review. That's why you want to sign up for our email list. And we are doing a community choir in partnership with South Riverdale Community Health Center this year as our second part of the project. WSP runs on so many volunteer hours from our dedicated team of stalwarts and our board of directors. For this event, my thanks to each of our performers for your gift of music and your talent, and to the speakers for sharing their love for Chris. Charlotte Moore, our intrepid host, even while she searches for the key, and our newest member on our board of directors, our musical director and chair of our board, David Warwick. Trish Adams, for her technical expertise, for all the video greetings. Mark Candler, for his wonderful work organizing all the food and the refreshments. Please eat them after the show while we're doing our socializing. We can't possibly take them home. There's no room.
Fridge full of bubbly. Needs to go.
Oh, it's gotta go.
I have a fridge full of bubbly.
To Valerie Boyle and Leslie Wall for making the arrangements for us to use this lovely space. To Alan Cohen for all things technical there at the back. Our volunteers, Vanetta Strombergs, Pam Hyatt, and Merle Garb. And to my son, Cameron, for the photography and videography this afternoon. For me, an almost overwhelming show of support for a major talent in our Canadian theatre industry. And I thank you for being a part of it.
Chris, I believe, would like to say a few words himself. Is that all right to do that now? Can I bring a mic to you? Yeah? Excellent. All right, ladies and gents.
I haven't held a mic in 68 of my 60 years, so I might be a little rusty. People who know me know I'm emotional. And I was sitting in my hospital room before my sister and brother-in-law showed up to drive me, or wheel me to the taxi, anyway. I was sitting there crying because this is so overwhelming for me. And I have loved every minute of my life, my lifetime of teaching, of doing shows, of helping people. Because I thought it was my duty to help people. And I hope I have brought life to people who need it when they need it. Because life is hard. I've found that out the past few years. Out with Parkinson's and arthritis and whatever else is going on inside me at the moment. Do as much as you can for people. Help people. You never know when things will come back to you and how they will come back to you, but you will always be rewarded, and I feel that I have been rewarded in so many ways by so many people. Even students who still keep in touch. That is my reward. They give me a part of their time on this planet, and I give them a part of my time. And it's all about sharing, and it's all about love and gratitude. And I really don't like speaking in public. So for the edited version, visit Today brought back so many memories. One including a lady in Sudbury who auditioned for Di Proctor and I have to do this for Frank. I think I played the auditions as well as listened to whatever MDs do anymore. And this woman came in and screeched something. And I might not get the story right, so forgive me. She ran to the piano at some point during her audition and pounded on a key. That's the note I want to sing. That's the note. Well, sing the damn note. Don't just talk about it. Some people. Anyway, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for showing me that my life had many, 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 many good things about it. And let's all focus on the positive and the beauty and do our best to make other people's lives worthwhile too. It's not just about me, me, me. So, do, do, do. Parkinson's will never take away my humor. Knock wood. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support and your thoughts and your love. And if I could do my life over again, I'd do it over again in a heartbeat, as long as the same people were in it. Well, maybe if you knew me. Just to, you know. But, yeah, I'm sorry, I should have prepared a speech. Oh wait, maybe I did. But I am so honored to be here. And I thank you so much for thinking of me and for supporting me. And I love you all. I really do. And cut.
And now, before I welcome up our last performer of the day, it's going to be Paula Wolfson, who is the founder and conductor of Singing with Parkinson's. Before we do that, I'd like to share one last testimonial with you, and this time from a Sheridan colleague, Mr. Stephen Woodjets. I always wished I could play piano as well as Chris Mounteer. He raised the bar, and even though I was never able to jump over that bar, it was always there as an inspiration to be better, to play better, to be kinder to the wonderful students we worked with. Thank you for making my life more challenging, and as a result, more rewarding, Chris Mounteer, a quiet, unsung national treasure. Oh, and Brutus adored him, and Brutus had great taste in humans. Paul, would you sing us out, please?
Thank you, sir. You'll never guess what this is, Chris. Chris has become a favorite on our Zoom Singing with Parkinson's class. I don't know how you do it on a screen, but you do. We have to stop sometimes and get him to unmute to share his thought of the moment. Oh my God, my droll friend. We don't just sing, we also do readings and things, and we had a spring session of poetry and such, and Chris put Wordsworth's I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud to music. And it's become part of our repertoire, thanks to you. I'm not going to look at you.
That flew They stretched in never-ending line along the margins of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance, 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 dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be but gay in such a jocund company. I gazed, I gazed, I gazed. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my head with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils, and dances with the daffodils.
Everyone stands up. So Chris, your friends say thank you for all the meaning and the joy that you have brought to them and all your students whose lives you've literally changed. And we just wanted to say thank you and hope you had a nice time this afternoon. Thanks, everybody.
Frank, you too. I don't know. I mean, yes, yeah, we're like...